Yo yo yo, my Star Citizens and new gamers, welcome back to another episode of Star Citizen with me, Menix. And in today's episode, it's going to be a real quick one, this one. It's going to be about me sort of admitting I was wrong about Pyro in terms of cargo running, and how I think, two things, I think cargo running will be saved by Pyro, and Pyro will be safer than Stanton in some aspects for cargo runners. So let me get into this one. So for me, we go back to before cargo freight elevators came in. Now, before freight elevators came in, we could go buy cargo and it would automatically appear on our ships, and then we could go and sell it. Now, in Stanton, this was good because all the best cargo was in planet side, so basically outposts and stuff like that. That's where the gold was, the laranite, the diamonds, the beryl, all that stuff. And so we could go down with bigger ships or medium ships and we could buy it. Now, fast forward this on to where the freight elevators come in, and now we have to load these outposts by ourselves. So that means if you go down with a bigger ship, we could take anything from 15 minutes to an hour to load our ship up ourselves. And with auto loading, you have to put your ship away. So auto loading only becomes available at the cities, the big cities. So Area 18, New Babbage, Orison, Area 18, and also at the space station. So the Lagrange points like Arkel 1, Arkel 2, places like that, as well as the space stations above the planets. So things like Virginia Point, Port Tressler, things like that. So as long as you can put your ship away, we could buy the cargo. The problem we had with Stanton was the best cargo was at the outposts where you couldn't put your ship away. So the only cargo we could really get over at the planet side cities was waste and scrap, and not really much cargo from the space stations. We could maybe get some Hephaestonite if we was lucky, just things like that, and maybe iron. So we are playing now Pyro. So we've gone into Pyro 4.0. Probably about a year ago, we did a tech preview of Pyro, and I came to the conclusion that Pyro was going to be ruthless. I went down to a planet side, got killed by an NPC, tried landing on another planet, got killed by a human player, and I came to the conclusion Pyro was going to be ruthless for an industrial player like me, and there's no way I was going to be able to survive in Pyro, and I'm going to have to stick to Stanton. But because of the cargo changes we've now got, where we have to load ourselves if we want decent cargo in Stanton, and auto-loading places don't really sell good cargo, that's changed all of this on its head. So the past few months, or the past month or whatever, we've been playing the Pyro 4.0 in the EPTU, and I've come to the conclusion that Pyro is going to save cargo running. So with Pyro, all the decent cargo, there's a lot of decent cargo you can get at space stations. Like, you can sell grasping weevil eggs over at Ruin Station, you can buy neon, Altrusia toxin and widow at a space station, and then go and sell that at another space station. Now, why is that better? It's better for the couple of reasons. You're buying it at a space station so you can put your ship away, which means you can have it auto loading, and which means you pay around 5,000 for it to be auto loaded, and maybe around 5,000 to get it taken off, auto unloaded. So you're probably paying about 10,000 to have that done, and waiting about maybe about 8 minutes in total for the load and unload together. But you're in a safe place. You're not out on a pad like in Stanton. You would be out on a pad and someone could see you loading your cargo. They could wait for you interdict you, jump and then get you, or they could just come and, while you're loading it, they could come and gang up on you and just take your cargo from your ship while you're actually loading it. In Pyro, they can't do that because you're going to be sending it to your ship or to your freight elevator. If you want to load it yourself, you can even load it yourself in the space station, but you're going to be doing that in your own hangar. So in your own piece, nobody can come and jank it from you. You've got the choice of auto-loading or loading yourself in safety. Before you leave the space station, you will be able to set your points that you want to go. So you could say you're going from Ruin Station to Rat's Nest, or Rat's Nest to Starlight, or something like that. Before you leave the station, you can actually set your points. So when you come out of the station, you're already ready, you're spooled up, ready, you've just got to point in the right direction, and off you go. That's where you're going to be the most vulnerable, is when you're coming out of the space station. But people won't, in my opinion, be hanging around a space station just in case somebody's going to come out with cargo. So by the time they've done scanning and stuff like that, you're going to be gone. And so for me, that is more safe than Stanton, because once you hit that jump point, you can just go. And people will say, well, we can wait on the lines, or say if we was going from Rat's Nest to Starlight, they could do the same jump, stop halfway, set up an introduction point. But what we can do as cargo runners is we can go from Rat's Nest to a different area, start heading to a different area. When we go 5, 6, maybe 10, 20 seconds into that jump, we can stop that jump, turn back over to the Starlight station if we was going that way, and then jump from a different point. So we're not going to get into that introduction area then. So we're safe that way. Then we're going to be vulnerable when we hit the new space station, but that depends how quick we can get into the safety of that space station. So then they're going to be the two most vulnerable points for me. But once you do land and them doors shut, you can then either send your ship down and auto unload, or in the safety of your own hangar, put that cargo into the freight elevator and go and sell it. So for me, it's weird to say Pyro is going to be safer than Stanton for cargo running if you're doing it from space station to space station, because nobody's going to be able to jank you while you're moving that cargo around. The only time they're going to be able to do it is once you leave the space station, or if you stay on a well-known path. So if you go from the space station straight to another space station rather than jumping around different points and coming in at different angles. And so for me, it was a realization when I was playing it yesterday, and I was thinking there's so many space stations, so many really good commodities. I feel like Pyro is going to save cargo running. The amount of times people have said to me in comments, cargo running is dead, they've killed it. And I did see this. I have noticed a drop in our videos, people not really wanting to watch them. It's almost like people have just given up with cargo because there's no point, especially when they thought that there is no autoloading, because there is autoloading. What's happened is your ship will be there and you'll select it, but it won't select your ship. You have to go through the list. So it could be that you have to select another ship to get to the ship you want, or you have to select a piece of armor like your name. They'll have your name on it instead, and you select that, or you have to select the wording, select location. And so once you do find your ship, then you can actually auto load, but only at places you can put your ship away. And so for me, it's a massive realization that I think Pyro is going to save cargo running, and it's going to be safer than cargo running in Stanton, where there is no commodities in the places you can put your ship down. We don't want to be buying scrap and waste. We don't want to be buying the iron for a small run, like say like if we was doing in a Freelancer or a Star Lancer or something like that. We don't want to be moving iron around and making 20-30 grand profit. We want to be making some big bucks, like 100,000, 200,000 profit on the runs that we're doing. And I think that we were going to be able to do that again in Pyro. So that's my little take on this, guys. I don't normally do videos like this, so we hope you like this one. If you do, don't forget to set that pointer, guys. Tickle that like button, really does help us out. We have noticed there's about 80 to 90% people that are not subscribed or do watch the videos. We really greatly appreciate it, guys, if you do show us some support and push us out further. Hit that like button. And yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments, guys. I was sort of blown away by this realization last night that actually I feel safer doing cargo runs in Pyro, and I'm getting better profits in Pyro. There's more cargo for me to do auto loading in the area. And so yeah, I think Pyro is going to be the one that saves cargo running. So let us know your thoughts, guys, and we'll see you guys out in the verse.